My name is Wendell Clark. I am the Managing Director of Star Check Limited, Babs St. Lucie.
Can you just give us some background information about you and your business?
When we started the company, I was actually not full-time. I started doing chickens part-time. At the same time, I was working with the oil company. And after doing it for a couple of years part-time, then I decided to move on and doing it full-time. Matter of fact, incidentally, we started with a couple of chickens in the yard. You know, most of us start with chickens, but 12, trying a dozen or two. And then we went on and we increased. We were killing chickens and we were selling them to my neighbors, then to the wider village. All this was done part-time. Eventually then I went on and decided to go in it full-time. So that's why we start in the chicken business.
So what prompted you to start farming in the first place?
Well, as people answer that question, you say that farming was in my blood because my parents actually used to work on plantation. One person asked me a couple of years ago how long I was in farming. I was able to tell them that I was in farming before I was born. Because I was farming, my mother was working on the farm and she was working on the farm and I went ahead. But coming along and seeing my bigger brother, he was also involved in farming. He started it. And he used to go to work as I was going to school. And I was the one who had to carry out the sheep. I'm the one who had to actually tend to the pigs and the chickens while he'd going to work. So I used to do that as a way of getting a little lunch money and those kind of things. So growing up, I was always exposed to farming. So I create a love for it and it developed and grow. I know mostly things from, my experience in working in farming.
What prompted you at the time you did to actually go to EGFL for financing?
Right, I understand that EGFL was financing development companies and coming in agriculture as well. And I further understood that they were lending for new technology, especially with internal farming and those kind of stuff. And of course, I was at the stage, this is what I was looking for. Having traveled overseas and seen the new technology, and I look and see how it would enhance my business, that did prompt me to go and approach them for some financing.
You're saying that the financing allowed you to bring wind tunnel technology to the farm? Was that the initial thought?
Yeah, definitely. It was able to lift my level, my bar, embrace them and it enhances the company. As a matter of fact, that relationship with EGFL, I must say, has made a significant development to our company because we started predominantly with layers and we were doing layers only. And then we had something like 30-something thousand square feet of layers and about 4 or 5 different locations. Engaging the new technology and with wind tunnel pen with the assistance of EGFL has enabled us to concentrate it on one pin to house all of our eggs, all of our layers at one time. And also use the new technology which increases our efficiencies. And that was very good for our company.
What prompted you to expand into broiler production then?
Right. Some of these developments is more than have what we call a domino effect. Now, having 30-something thousand square feet of conventional layers across the island and getting an opportunity to put all these layers, because the pen that we have built can hold approximately 48,000 layers. So we were able to put in all of these layers in one pen. And it gave us vacant space about this additional 30-something thousand square feet. What to do with it? We don't let it stay there and stay idle. We also have that as part of the development. So we started by using that 37,000 square feet in boilers. So we raise boilers, we use the we start also funding a small processing plant. So we were able to get our plant and get our broilers and start broilers from that point of view.
What are the critical ingredients to having productive birds and high quality poultry products?
Well, there's several, every stage of the chicken's life is very, very important. You have to make sure, one, that you get good baby chicks, quality baby chicks, that they're, the parenting of those chicks, that they're healthy. So you start from the beginning. Most importantly, too, you have to make sure that they have good facilities to be housed, that the environment is clean and conducive for growth, well sanitized, and the temperature and what's not is conducive for the accommodation of those birds. Having done that, then you continue to maintain that standard in the life of the birds. Broiler birds normally take about 5.5, 6 weeks in growth. And you have every day you have to be monitoring them, those chickens, and adjusting the temperature, the water, and good quality feed to make sure that the birds are getting good quality feed, good quality water, good environment, air, ventilation, and all these things are very important. And once you do that and take care of those birds, you will continue to get quality meat. And the meat follows right through from there. After weighing the birds, you have to make sure that they're taken to the processing plant well. They're cared there and they're processed at a high standard as well. We have a high standard here that we follow with HACCP regulation. In addition to that, we have the Ministry of Health inspectors here every day to monitor them. The meat is checked. The blood is tested and sent to the lab to make sure that quality meat is sent to, quality chickens are sent to the public. So that also make sure that the birds are not fed anything that they shouldn't be given. So they test the blood on a daily basis to make sure what is happening, what those birds were fed with. And all these measures are put in place to make sure that the consumers get the best and high standard of broiler meat.
Recently, there's been increased interest in using renewable energy and energy efficient equipment. Have you used this? And if you have, how does it assist you in the operation of your?
Another major expenditure is, of course, energy and electricity. That's a major challenge. We have started, again with the assistance of EGFL, wherever possible, we have started to use some solar panels, and that have assisted us a lot because most of our electricity right now is generated through generators, and we combine the generators with the solar panels, and the combination of two of them assists us tremendously in reducing our electrical costs. In addition to that, we are quoting currently a 250 kilowatt digestive system to use the manure from the chickens to assist us to further help us later on in this electrical bill. So far now we should be on the road to have that completed.
Imported chicken wings seems to be more available fairly recently. How are you and maybe other members of the poultry fraternity, how are you being prepared to respond to this challenge?
There are two things as far as imported chicken wings are concerned. And I think one of the things I will engage my colleagues in the poultry sector to do is to educate the consumers and bring them to aware to compare the quality of chicken that they're getting locally against what is being imported. That's the first thing that we have to do. You have to compare and let's see that you're getting quality of value for their money. Now, you would appreciate Barbadians are very healthy conscious, and we want to let them to know what we are producing locally against what they want to consume from imported stuff. In addition to that, and that's the second thing I would like to say to Barbadians, because there is a myth that chicken wings give this extra, or you get extra value or extra quantity for it. Currently, I would like to say that there's several other parts of the chicken that is producing, giving more protein meat per bone ratio than chicken wings at a very lower price than chicken wings. Well, we have something called chop meats. We have other parts like we have drumsticks. I would try to challenge the consumers to compare these prices with what they're paying for imported chicken wings. And you will see that they're getting more value and less cost for some of these parts. But the consumers must become aware of these and go and investigate for themselves. And you will see that they will prefer to buy some of the other parts.
I want to look a little at some of the main reasons that some farmers, especially poultry farmers, fail.
Well, there's several reasons why it's not only for poultry farmers, but in business as a whole. There's certain things certain business practices if you don't engage in, you will fail. One of the first things that is very important to any business, especially poultry business, is good recording. You must have good accounts and good record keeping to make informed decisions. If you don't have information, you cannot make proper decisions. And because of the high risk that is involved in poultry farming, it is even more important that you have good record keeping. Now, that is one of the major reasons. The other thing is that poultry farming is very expensive, and you have to know where your risk is and how to manage your risks. Because you will appreciate, if you have to compare poultry farming against, like, if I was doing a manufacturing block company, you can take blocks, produce them, put them down, and then go back for the next 30 days, they still remain. You can't do that in poultry farming. You deal with livestock, you gotta maintain livestock, you gotta be alert, you gotta be very attentive. In addition to that, even if your chicken is done processed, you have to maintain the meat at a high standard, make sure you check refrigeration temperatures to make sure that the quality meat is maintained. So the risk is very high. If you make a slip up in 1 second, you can lose a lot of money. And one of the other things that are high risk is the attention. For example, even in the wind tunnel pen we have over there, and we have tunnel ventilation, we have curtains at the side. If, for example, you lose power and you don't check to ensure that if you lose power, those curtains drop to get constant ventilation, in less than 15 minutes, you could lose over 20,000 birds. So it's that critical. So you have to use our technology to make sure you're attentive, to make sure that you don't expose yourself to excessive risks, because you will lose money quickly. And that's one of the reasons why some farmers fail, because they don't pay attention to technology, they don't follow up, and they're not alert enough. So I give you several reasons. One, that. The other one is accounting record, and making sure that you keep plowing back in the money into the business to keep it current and current.
As a farmer, what are some of the environmental challenges that you would have faced?
Well, in poultry farming, we have had some major challenges. One of them was the disposal of the chicken waste. At one point, we were carrying to what we call St. Thomas dump, and we had to pay a lot of money, a couple of $100 for 2 or 3 tons of manure a day. That was very expensive, and that was a challenge. We could not put it anywhere else because of the offense to smell. It will affect the neighbors around, because Barbados is fairly small. Where can you go before you find a house or somebody living nearby? So you have to find ways and means of managing that, because you don't want to offend your neighbors or anything like that. We have tried to use it in some of the bigger fields and the plantations and what's that. And some of that was a little challenging too, because the rotation of crops, then it was a timely and those kind of situation. But thank God, today we have gone on with technology and we find a new way to manage that, and that's why we are utilizing the digesters to use that into a more positive way.
What advice would you give to a young person who's now starting out on a career path in poultry farming?
The first thing I would say to them is to tread carefully. It's not a very easy task, but get all the information you can get on running a business first, and ensure that they are willing to put these theories into practice. Get a good understanding of the nature of the poultry industry, what are the do's and the don'ts. There's a lot of things to learn. You were surprised to know that it might sound strange to you. You even have to go and learn chicken language, chicken behavior. You know, there's different forms of conversation. The chickens may not be able to use the English language, but they use their language and use their behavior. You got to know when chickens are screaming because they're cold. You got to know the difference when they're hungry. You got to know when they're frightened. You got to know the behavior when they're clustering. So you have to learn these things about the chickens to understand poultry husbandry. So it's a very, very dynamic and interesting field to be in, but try to accumulate as much knowledge as possible as you can.
In what ways does your company assist young persons in developing their career path, especially when it is related to offering internships or apprenticeships?
Yeah, we have looked at this and we think that we have been doing it over time. There are times when we have people coming from the Polytechnic and different institutions and come here and do some training with us. We want to continue in that area. We also look at people who are even doing other areas and studies, vacationing when they're going at university, maybe doing, want some time to study, and we give them a chance to come and work, give them a window opportunity. We want to continue to work with the Polytechnic and these technical people. We want to, even the community college, we are looking out for people to give opportunity to come in and to learn. And we're doing a lot more of that in the very near future. But yes, we want to give people an opportunity. And we hope that this same system will be extended to the university, because currently we have one university student who is working with us often and doing assisting their particular study. They're doing a doctoral study, but they're able to assist us in some of our testing and those kind of stuff. And we want to continue in that vein. And I would like to see whereby that our educational system will be linked more with the workforce. And in the United States of America, I know some universities, you probably hear about the Harvard and what's not, and especially in those in the legal fraternity, they actually go out there and train people, bring them in-house, and then take the best brains and bring them into the company. We would like to do that, and we make an appeal to people out there who are interested in this. Come into it with us. Whether you're studying or not, we could contact you, we can assist you. If you're interested in developing, you can come work with us and get a window opportunity to get a practical experience of business.
How has your staff complement changed from the first time you approached Enterprise Growth Fund for finance until now?
Oh, we have grown tremendously. As a matter of fact, the company is interested in that. When we started this company, we started with one employee, and we had one. And incidentally, that employee is still working with us now. And today we have a complement of over 112. So we moved from 1 to 112, and we probably can be growing a little bit more as we continue to develop. But since we met Enterprise Growth Fund and they assisted us in the funding and what's not, we've been able to make those changes as far as staff complement.
Is your business involved in any community outreach projects?
Yes, we have from time to time. You probably hear about the PASH competitions and then go on. So we support them for many years now, and wherever we can, we support them to make sure that our parish in St. Lucie is always up front and well supported, that they can win. And I think they win a couple of years. Now I said St. Peter and St. Lucie because we have a business in both parishes. So whether it's St. Peter or it's St. Lucie, we assist all those communities that we can.
What advice would you give to anyone choosing Enterprise Growth Fund as a financial institution?
I would say to them that the staff is very friendly, and I would say that it's a very good institution that is meant to help, especially for those who will develop in the country. And once you meet their requirements and you work with them, and you have a good, it gives some very good advice. And my experience, I must say to you, that it was very warm and welcoming, and I am glad that I have a relationship with Enterprise Growth Fund. I hope our relationship continue to grow from strength to strength.
How do you balance your time between business, family, and all the other interests that you have?
We have the responsibility of managing our time. The company, and just to answer your question further, have allowed me to give back to society many years ago. If you check my record, I was the president of a small business association for many years. I was also the president of Barbados Agriculture Society. They have afforded me some time to go and develop that. We have a lot of things in development have happened under my watch as president of those institutions. So I manage time for those institutions and my time for the work. In addition to that, you have to look after your personal health. Currently, I hold I have a pretty sensible head, so I have a lot of hats on. You'll see I'm also a pastor. I am a married man with a family. I'm a director of this company and other companies. But one of the things I do on a daily basis, I find time for myself. My wife knows that when I leave work one evening, I spend at least 3 hours playing tennis. Most evenings. I try to do at least 3 to 4 evenings a week. On mornings, some mornings, 2 mornings, I try to go to the beach. I do a 6 o'clock on the beach, do an hour before I come to work, at least 2 mornings a week. In between, well, recently I have not been doing my cycling, but I want to get that back in place. So physical exercise is a necessity. So I do that. I also was, the last couple of years, was studying. I just finished one of my programs. I supposed to complete my doctorate in another study, but because of time again and the pressure that was going on, I had to hold off that for a minute, but I will get back to that shortly. But normally you designate time for what you want to do, plan it, and stick to the plan. And you can see that you can have a well-balanced time schedule around it and keep your health and make sure your health is good at all times. It don't make sense going after the wealth and you lose your health, then you got to spend the wealth to get back the health. It don't make any sense.
So, Mr. Clark, tell us, what would you say is your philosophy of life?
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I think that I have found the answer for life, and I would like to offer it to anyone who's listening because it worked for me, it can work for everybody. I must tell you that having a relationship with Jesus Christ is my philosophy. Depending upon God, having that working relationship with Him, even practicing in business. Overall, my business would never have come to this stage where I had not for the God Himself. Because I see myself as a steward, not an owner, and I see God as the owner. I always ask Him to direct me and guide me every day in all my decision processes, especially when it comes to relate to people, because God's heart is on people and He wants us to treat people like they belong to Him. His treasure is people. All the other things are secondary. So depending and working and living as a Christian is my philosophy. It's based in the Bible. You read the Bible and you have it done back.
So, Mr. Clark, as we close this interview, is there any other thing that you would want the public to know?
Well, yes, I would like the public to know that Starship business philosophy is to serve the customers. And all of our branches and things, we are here, we're doing a product to satisfy and to please customers. And in fact, anytime any customer is not pleased with us, let us know. We'll make it right. Because we are into business to serve, and we want to do our best, give the best product with good service to all our customers out there.